Okay, if you watching this video are one, looking to get into real estate to replace your primary income, two, wanting to start an actual business, not just another side hustle that's only going to make you like $200-300 a week, and three, we want to learn how to actually make the business automated so you don't always have to be working inside of the business, you can just be working on the business, then this is the right video for you. There's going to be a ton of value in here, so make sure you stay till the end and then subscribe for when I post more of these videos. So guys, today I will be going over number one, the basic skill set needed to operate a wholesale business. Number two, how to build out an automated wholesaling business that does the heavy lifting for you. And number three, what it looks like to scale this to 6+ figures a month. And as you guys can see, I spent a ton of time building out this entire board for you guys. So make sure you stay till the end, like I said, because there is a ton of game in here. I could charge a lot of money for this video, but I'm going to be posting it for completely free. As you guys already know, I wholesale, so here are some of my credentials. Here's our full pipeline from all of the marketing we do, and then here's the deal that we closed last month in. So guys, like I said, the first thing I want to be going over is the basic skill set needed to operate a wholesale business. So you're going to need an understanding of how the acquisitions process works. So the 4 pillars of qualification, the value that you provide to the seller, and how to explain a real estate transaction. You need to understand that concept pretty well to be able to move on to the next step. Number two, you need to know how to run proper numbers so you're locking up real deals and you're not just guessing. Number three, you need to know how to find real cash buyers that actually close. And four, you need to understand the basics of real estate sales, because how are you going to automate a real estate business when you don't know how to even run one yourself? Going over these raw skills is super redundant for me. So what me and Hunter do is we just host a free live class every single week. You guys can sign up. It'll be one of the links in the bio. And this will basically just go over all the raw skills that you need to get into real estate. Like I said, this is completely free. Just sign up and show up. And then at the end of the call, we do a Q&A. So there's always going to be value for you guys, no matter what level of the business you already are in. Okay, so this is going to be the part of the video that takes up the most time. This is how to build an automated wholesale business. Underneath, I literally built out an entire example that you can copy that has the potential to make $25,000 to $100,000 a month. And this is a full built out system that I've seen, one, in play, making money, and two, get scaled to over $100,000 a month. So it all starts from the marketing. Like, how are you going to be getting in contact with these sellers? So what we're going to be doing to start out is we're going to be using SMS. Root of SMS starts with you pulling a list of prospects and uploading them to the SMS software. The SMS will begin on drip sequence and it'll send out 2 texts per minute. If you send them all out at once, you're going to get your phone number blocked, so refrain from doing that. When a negative response is received, so someone says no, someone says fuck you, someone says some bullshit, you're going to mark it as do not disturb and you're going to delete that contact. When a positive response is received, so someone says, yes, I want to sell, what's your offer, something like that, you're going to mark it as a lead and then you're going to call for screening. Speed to lead is key here, so you're going to want to touch these leads within 5 minutes of them having a positive response. If a lead from there is disqualified for a cash offer, so you're starting the screening process and you realize that they want an unreasonable price, the property does not meet your criteria, it's too rural, they have no motivation to actually sell, you're going to push it to the trash pile and you're going to put it aside. If a lead is actually qualified, so you've done the 4 pillars, you realize that they're actually worth your time and the homeowner genuinely wants a cash offer, then you're going to move it to the next step. From here, the acquisitions rep or yourself could also be the same person who screened the lead, underwrites, and prepares for the offer call. Once the deal is underwritten, you know what number you need to have it at to actually make money on the deal. You're going to call and give out that cash offer. If the max allowable offer is declined, you're going to add to a text sequence that automatically follows up every 2 to 3 days to see if anything changed. You want to stay on top of the people you give offers to, because a lot of times people just need some time to think about it. And when you're serious about it and when you follow up with them every couple of days, they're going to realize, oh, this guy's actually wanting to buy my property. Like, he's staying on top of me. Maybe I can give it a chance. Maybe I can revisit the thought of accepting his offer. So always make sure you're nurturing these leads even after they reject your offer. Once the offer is accepted, the contract will be sent out and a live signing will be scheduled. I only do live signings nowadays because when you just send out a contract, 99% of the time the seller is just going to see that contract and then start shopping it around, meaning they're going to be literally taking your contract and seeing if someone else is willing to beat that out before they actually sign it. So that's why you want to set up a live signing call. Like, me and you are going to meet at 5 p.m. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read over the entire contract with you, and we're going to get it signed on that call so we can move forward with our process and get the deal rolling forward. You don't want to have contract without having some type of idea if they're actually going to sign or not. If the contract is not signed, add to a very frequent follow-up every 1 to 2 days, and you guys need to add urgency that they need to sign soon. So say stuff like, hey, our offer is going to expire, or hey, we need to get this deal rolling forward, or else we're going to allocate the resources to something else. You need to add urgency that they need to sign soon and that your offer is not going to last forever. This basically makes it so the seller's like, oh shit, I actually got to move forward with this. I can't keep wasting this guy's time, and I need to sign this contract so we can get the ball rolling forward. From this point on, it gets passed off to the dispositions department. So this is where you'll actually be finding your buyer and you'll be doing the transactional coordination work. So once the contract is signed, you're going to begin marketing it to buyers. Firstly, you guys want to send it to your VIP buyer list, and then you start a broad outreach campaign. So this can be posting it on Facebook, using software like InvestorLift, using other SMS blasting softwares, or just calling agents to see if they have a network of buyers that you can use. This should be like a 7 to 14 day process because we have usually 14 days in our inspection period. If it's not assigned within 7 days, usually it's not a deal. So you need to go for a price reduction with the seller to make the offer better. If that price reduction ends up getting rejected, then you send a termination and then put that seller in a long-term follow-up to see if they would accept your lower offer. Once an assignment is signed, you're going to be sending in this information to the title company. So this is literally an example email of what you would be sending to a title company. Hello, I'm looking to place an order for 123 Main Street. Attached is the original purchase and sale, our assignment with the end buyer, and any other additional documentation we have. So addendums, JV agreements, stuff like that. Please send EMD instructions to our end buyer and send receipt once it is deposited. Thank you. So you want to make sure your end buyer always deposits EMD as soon as the title company has all the documentation. This is so you know that the buyer is serious. If they don't deposit earnest within the first couple of days, I would recommend just looking around for another buyer because most of the time they're not that serious and they're not going to close on your deal. So from here, if the title comes back with issues, liens, back taxes, utility bills, see if they're able to be cleared / renegotiated with the debt holders. Title company or attorney usually will take care of this, but I have seen instances where we had to do it ourselves. For example, on this one deal we closed in Jersey, I had to call the HOA themselves to negotiate the fees because the title company wasn't going to handle it. I basically called the HOA up. I was like, hey, listen, like these late fees are way too much for the seller to pay. He's not going to want to sell. We need to make sure this works. So what the HOA did is they were able to lower the HOA fees down thousands and thousands of dollars. That made it make more sense to the seller, and they were actually able to close, and everything went smoothly after that. If they are too much to be renegotiated / they ruin the deal, meaning like if you have a water bill that comes back for $50,000 and the seller can't afford to cover it, we must send a termination and then sign a release for our buyer's EMD. The seller must deliver a clear title, so there's no further liability here. It's not like we're trapped in this contract to close. And if the title comes back clear, you're going to set the closing date with the buyer, make sure that the buyer and the seller can both meet on that date. If the seller, for some reason, cannot meet on the closing day, you can have them pre-sign the documents. So basically, they'll go into the title company, they'll sign off on all the documentation needed, and then once the closing happens at the closing table, the seller won't even need to be there. They'll just be able to close, and the buyer will just go in and sign off his documentation. The buyer can also pre-sign if he wanted to, but it just all depends on how the closing is structured. Sometimes they even have notaries, so people who just drive out and drop off the documents for the seller and buyer to sign, but it depends on the title company, depends on the area, and depends on the deal. It's at this point where you want to send in your wiring instructions for your bank account so you can actually receive your assignment fee, because once the closing actually happens, they will be sending out all the wires. So you'll get paid that same day, and then the check will probably appear in your account the next day. So guys, that was a ton of information over the last 5 minutes. I literally just basically broke down an entire wholesale business. So now I want to tell you how to actually automate this process. So first thing you want to focus on is you want to delegate the lowest leverage tasks. So uploading lists, beginning your SMS sequence. This is all very low leverage. You can have a VA do this for like $3 an hour. Managing the system, so marking negative responses and marking positive responses, that is something a VA can do. Screening for the 4 pillars. This is something a VA can do for $3 an hour. This is a $3 an hour task. All of these up here can be delegated for less than $3 an hour. Transactional coordination, so talking to the title company, VAs can do this as well. So down here, this can all be delegated to a VA for $3 an hour. That's how you're going to automate this part of the business. Right here, delegate higher leverage tasks. So this is acquisitions. That's a very high leverage task. That is how you're going to get deals. Selling deals to buyers. This is a higher leverage task. What you're going to usually do for this is find salespeople that are US based that are going to be paid based on commission. So if they close a $25,000 deal, they're going to get 10% of the deal, and they're going to get 10% of that deal that they close, and then you can structure it with bonuses and stuff for incentives to make sure they stay around for a long time. But usually industry average is 10% for acquisitions and 10% for dispo. Your job as an operator, once you have all of those slots filled in, so you have VAs to do all the tedious work, you have acquisitions and dispo people to do the higher leverage tasks, all you have to do is manage growth and lead the company forward and think of expansion strategies, right? So you want to think of strategies like fix and flips, strategies like wholesales, ways you can make more money with the same exact opportunities that you're already getting. Also thinking about reinvesting your capital back into the business, hiring more people, managing the team. So this business will get automated in the sense that you'll make money without you actually having to be placed inside the business, like calling people and stuff, but you'll still have to manage your team who's doing all that work for you. But same goes for any other business. No business is truly automated. There's always some activity. So guys, this is what it looks like at scale. So this is our business. As you can see, we have a bunch of automations built out. We spent days and nights and countless hours building out these automations so that everything would be perfect, and all of the tedious stuff that a robot on Go High Level can do for us is done. We don't have to lift a finger to, send automated text follow-ups or do anything like that. Our system automatically does it for us. So that saves us a ton of time and allows us to scale and do higher leverage tasks. We have an easily structured pipeline that goes from screening to acquisitions to dispo. So it follows the order, like I said earlier. And it just makes sure every single lead is organized. Once you're dealing with 200, 300, 400 leads at a time in your system, you need to make sure you're very organized with the proper automations and the proper pipelines. So it's very important to build all of this out. Not to mention, we have a pretty big team. It's inflated because we do have some old VAs added here that aren't supposed to be there anymore. So guys, just a quick recap of what I already went over. First things first, you need to build up the raw skills. So you need to know the real estate sales process. You need to know how to do acquisitions. You need to know how to do dispo. And then you need to know how to underwrite deals properly so that you're selling buyers the correct deals that will actually make them money. So if you don't have the raw skills mastered yet, please show up to this free class. That's literally what we focus on. It's very beginner oriented. So we go over all of the raw skills that you need to actually see success in the business. Number 2, how to build out an automated business. So you need to know how to do stuff like this, and you need to know how to build it out. This can be different for every single type of marketing, but this is a very basic framework. Like you could change these 2 things to your type of marketing, and all of this would stay relatively the same. And then as you start closing deals, as you start dealing with more capital, you're going to want to automate the process. So use this process of delegation so you can actually make money while you're not actually involved in the business. And number 3, you need to know what this looks like at scale. So I used our business as an example. And once you piece all of this together, that is a fully built out real estate business that you can use to make $10, $20, $30, even $100,000 per month. It does not take long to get to this point. 1 year ago, I had no clue what I was doing and I was a complete beginner in real estate. Fast forward to now, I have all of this built out and this business is literally printing me money. This part of the video is for the guys that want this to be kind of guaranteed and you want to see results quicker than the rest and you kind of want to skip the learning curve. What me and my agency offer is we basically offer wholesaling done for you. So if you want one-to-one coaching, so we meet with you every single week and we teach you the raw skills of the business, you get my systems directly implemented in your business. So all of the follow-ups, all of the automations will be directly implemented into your CRM. You get an individually tailored marketing plan based on your needs. You get access to my pool of millions of cash buyers. And on top of all of that, to seal the deal, you get a guarantee to close your first deal within 90 days. You guys can book a call in the description to see if you are a fit to work with our agency. You'll fill out that type form that will qualify you, and then you'll have the option to book a call at the end. Once you book a call at the end, you'll receive a call from one of my team members. They'll basically confirm all your details and make sure you're good for that call that you booked. But yeah, boys, other than that, I hope you got a lot of value from this video. Like I said, I'm trying to upload a lot more so you guys are constantly getting game. And I just want people to actually be able to make money from these videos. So if you genuinely start closing deals or if you start seeing success using the stuff that I teach, please leave a comment down below. I would love to see that. And that's what's going to keep me going. But yeah, boys, appreciate the support and I'll see you guys in the next one.